everybody. So for those that don't know me, my name's Kim. I work over at From Loft to Loft in Sedgefield with Sarah, where just part of our business is we run lots of different workshops and crafty kind of classes. Obviously with what's going on at the minute, they're not running. We're all in lockdown. So what we thought, alongside Donna at Pimms and Needles, is it might be a nice idea to get together some videos of crafty activities that you can do at home if you've got the opportunity to do it, if you're in the position to do it. These are lovely things to keep your mind occupied, to do with the kids. So what I'm going to be doing today is furniture painting. And I'm going to be using chalk paint. So when I was saying about working with the kids, chalk paint is lovely. It's completely safe. I should know the actual term, but basically it's low in VOCs, so it's animal safe, child safe, all that kind of business, so you know it's fine to do with the kids. So the biggest thing we get when we in the shop is that people are put off by painting furniture because they may be a bit nervous. So what I would suggest, if this is something that you are nervous about, is to do it on something like a picture frame, a plant pot. Tackle something small that doesn't necessarily matter before you go on to that piece of furniture that you really want to do, but you're just a bit scared of doing so. So get your projects. That's the first step. So whether it be a picture frame, plant pot, table, kitchen cupboards, essentially it's the same process that we're going to go through. So the first thing that you need to do is you need to prep your piece. So by prep, I don't mean we're getting the sanders out and all that kind of business. It's what we can do at home. So the first thing we need to be doing is cleaning this piece of furniture. So if you've got it, what I would recommend is sugar soap. Absolutely fabulous stuff. A couple of quid, gets all the greases out, perfect for cleaning. If we've not got it, and we're at home, we're stuck in, next best thing, washing up liquid, just soap and water, something basically so we can scrub and get the mank out of this piece of furniture. So plastic tub, kitchen sponge, not too much if you're going with the washing up liquid, just a tiny little bit. And what we want to be doing is scrubbing the piece of furniture absolutely everywhere. Scrub it to within an inch of its life. What that's doing is it's getting all the greases, all the nasties out. Anything that's going to affect our paint is coming off there. So super scrub all over. I mean, this is going to be a true Blue Peter style this with his one I've done earlier. So you get the idea. Scrub, scrub and scrub some more. Then what you want to do is wipe it down. Dry it down. If you've got flaky varnish, super shiny surface, you maybe want to sand it a little bit at this point. I don't mean full on sand, we've got them flying everywhere. Bit of sandpaper, a light scuff, as if you're dusting it really with the sandpaper. Important, these edges, give a little sand around there because that's sometimes where paint struggles to grip. That's the right way. So yeah, almost like I describe it as like a bit of a pathetic dust. That's what we're doing. If you're going to be tackling loads and loads of furniture projects during this time, these are amazing things. Sandy hands. We have done a video before, so I'm not going to go into detail, but they're good if you've got loads of projects. But obviously, stuck in the house, bit of sandpaper. If you haven't got a bit of sandpaper, as long as you do that scrubbing, use the green side of your sponge. If we're using chalk paint, you should be all right with that, okay? Obviously, if you've got chunks of varnish coming out of it, that's a different kettle of fish, but generally, you should be all right. So once we've done that, make sure your piece is completely dry. Wipe it down with backtrack. Once you've done that, wipe it down with plain water. We're getting that sugar soap, we're getting the washing up liquid off, we're getting the dust off. Then you want to leave it to completely dry. So completely dry piece. Here's one I did earlier. Nice and ready to start painting. So like I said, there's different types of paint. I prefer to use Authentico. They come in different varieties of paint. So there's like a vintage chalk paint. Lovely stuff, really easy to use, goes on most surfaces, but you do need to add a wax or a varnish. So that does tend to put some people off. It doesn't put me off because I like to play with waxes, But if you're new to it, I can understand why that might put people off. So if you're not wanting to wax or varnish, you're just wanting to get a nice sort of modern look, you want to be looking at an all-in-one paint, an all-in-one chalk paint, something like Vasanti Matte. Absolutely fabulous. It's got basically, how can I describe it? Once it's hardened, once it's dried, it starts to develop its own protection. So yeah, lovely. You don't need to add anything over the top. Nice and easy to use. So anyhow, pick your paint for your project. I'm going with vintage for today. There is also eggshell. I realise I'm saying a lot, so I do apologise for that. Eggshell, say you're doing your kitchen cupboards, then you want to be thinking about an eggshell. Absolutely beautiful, lovely to use, lovely smooth finish, but you do need to prime with it. You need to do that extra bit of prep. Just for everyday projects, nice and easy. Chalk paint, it's a no-brainer. So, get the right tool for the job. So for this kind of project, I want a brush because I've got all these detailed bits here, if you can see it, that I'm going to be going into, so I want a brush. So for this, I mean, as you can see, I've already got a bit of red on it. I've got a nice oval brush. Again, if you're at home, any brush that you can find, a synthetic brush is always better. Just the paint like flows off it lovely. Natural bristles, it seems to clog a little bit. But yeah, if you're doing a big surface, a roller, absolutely fabulous stuff. My go-to rollers are always the two Fussy Blokes ones. They're absolutely amazing because you can't even see that it's been rollered. It doesn't leave that kind of dippeliness. But again, if you're stuck in the house, you don't have, like, you're not in a position to be ordering online, just use what you've got to hand. Right, key is, you don't need a lot of paint on your brush. So I don't know if you can see there. I've just tiny bit of paint on my brush. A little goes a long way. People get into the habit, like, to think, we have to get it, they come in the shop and go, can I not just slap it on in one coat? No, you definitely cannot slap it on in one coat. 2 or 3 thin coats is always better. You get a much more smooth, modern finish if you go for the thinner coats. More, but thinner. So tiny bit on the brush. Work out where you're going to start. Get yourself comfortable. Be moving the piece, oh God, that nearly went, rather than yourself. And get yourself a start point. So I'm going to start here. Can you see that? Yeah, I think you can. Right. And basically I'm working my way along. You can see there, I've actually got really good coverage from that tiny little bit. I'm not attempting to get it done though straight away. Just keep moving. You can see how far that paint goes. Don't be scared of really getting your brush in to those inny bits. And work your way around. So from your start point, keep going. Say you see you've missed a bit, the temptation can be to go back to that point, but with chalk paint it dries really quickly, so just leave it. You'll catch that bit on your second coat round. Just continue going round. So I'm going to go up the leg next. I find when I'm going up legs, I have a diagonal kind of action there. If you go straight up and down, well, to be honest, I end up splatting it in my face, but it doesn't cover as well as if I go at a diagonal. Just personal preference, it's just what I found. And again, move the piece around and work your way around. Simple as that. So you can see that's covering really well for a first coat. There we go. So put that there. So like I said, 2 or 3 thin coats is always better. So here's one I did earlier. So if I bring that really close, so you can still see, I don't know if you can see it, you can still see quite a bit of the wood through that. That's fine. I'm going to get a much smoother finish by doing that. What you do find when you're putting your second coat on is it's going to dry a bit quicker than your first one, because basically the paint is going into paint. So don't be tempted at this point to be doing this. Brushing, thinking you're gonna like cover a space. You can overbrush. So we just want to be thinking few coats. So again, find your starting point and work your way around. Give that so you can see. So you can see what's happening with that second coat. I'm just getting such a better coverage there. It's filling in those gaps. Now, how many coats does tend to depend on the colour you've picked. So I've obviously gone with a notoriously bad coverer, red. You find bright whites and then really bright pigmented colours do take a few extra coats. But that's fine. It's just going to take me one extra coat as long as I just do it nice and thin. It'll cover. There we go. It's starting to look really good. So yeah, working my way around. So you might be wondering why the hell I'm painting it upside down. I always paint everything upside down. It's just so much easier to catch everything like this. Then when I'm on my final coat, flip it round because I can see where I've missed. And then this is obviously the bit that everybody sees. So if I do this last, I can just concentrate nicely on that bit. So there we go. I'd love to make it sound harder than that, but it's really not. That's how simple it is to create a nice painted furniture project. Simples. I mean, we won't say simples at the end.